I run on time for live shows, guys. That's the Dan Besbris way. It's the Old Man Squad way. We run on time on live shows here. Old Man Squad Fantasy Basketball. Hi. Hello, everyone. Live show here. Why? I don't know. Felt like it. It's less work after the fact. It's more work to prep, and then it's less work after. Just sort of is posted at that point. I guess I have to get the audio version up, but, can kind of cruise through that while I'm doing other things. In any event, we're going to give a minute or two while the channel populates. The tweets are out. The bodies are a-coming. And we're going to do a whole bunch of questions on today's show with nothing massive in mind. I don't have a plan going into this one. We already did the recap show late last night. So guess I'll say this. Thanks to FanDuel and the FanDuel Sportsbook, as per usual. What do we got going on over at the FanDuel Sportsbook these days? Also, the Believe network of podcasts for their continued support. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching on Twitter, which I know some of you are, especially right here at the beginning, please flip on over to the YouTube feed. It's zero difference between the two, but you have access to the chat room. So if you actually wanted to post a question on this live show, you're going to have to do it over there. I'm not seeing what's going on over on Twitter. And it's better for me and for Old Man Squad, because then you can subscribe. You can get fed an advertisement, which pays Old Man Squad. It's all those things. What do we got going on for awards right now? Shea minus 105. He's actually chalk for MVP. Chet Holmgren, Defensive Player of the Year. That's interesting. You actually somehow, believe it or not, could have value on Wemby at plus 380. Rookie of the Year, Cooper Flagg has launched back ahead of Con Kneppel and Derek Queen. It's going to be Cooper unless he gets hurt. Most Improved, Avdia, Jalen Johnson, Austin Reeves, Jalen Duren. Avdia and Jalen Johnson are basically the same odds. It's probably going to be Jalen Johnson. Sixth Man of the Year, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, Reed Shepard, Dylan Harper, Jaime Jaquez, Anthony Black. Clutch Player of the Year. Coach of the Year. I don't know how it's not. Well, I mean, JB Bickerstaff has a case. Finals MVP. They got Finals MVP odds, and Shea is even money. That's wild. All right. We're all populated now. The comments and questions have shown. It's time to take a look at what we got going on over in the chat room. Oh, yeah. We got questions. This is from Andy Cruz. He's a member. I can see it because his name is highlighted in this sort of a light green. What up? He says. I'll say it right back. Would you trade Darius Garland and Desmond Bane? Oh, Garland / Bane. Sorry. Garland or Bane plus Jaren Jackson Jr. for Kevin Durant or Austin Reeves, I assume. Durant / Reeves. Yeah, I don't think that's both, right? Just one in a 10-team ESPN points league with a games cap. Yes. Yes, I would. KD would be my preferred guy from among those dudes. Although I feel like if you waited, you might be able to get more on the Darius Garland side, especially with JJJ actually starting to get a little bit better lately. This question's really hard. I'm spoon-fed. You're a loyal viewer, listener, but I have to admit, I almost jumped over your question. Who do you think are the top 3 star-level producers who are currently being underrated in fantasy? In-season sleepers. I don't know, man. I guess Trey Murphy, probably. Nobody thinks about him as a star-level guy, but he's a second-rounder in 9-cat. 21 points, 6 boards, 3.5 assists, 1.7 steals on brilliant 49-91 splits with almost 3 threes a game. Nobody's thinking about Trey Murphy as a star-level producer, and yet there he is in the top 15. Jamal Murray, maybe 25, 4, and 7 on great percentages. It's generally the guys that have amazing percentages and the turnovers are not outrageous, but then there they are in the top 15 in 9-cat. It's probably where I'd have to go. Anybody else that jumps out? Nah, not really. Khalil Ware, number 28. Not a star-level producer, though. That's sort of the big man bump. Delante, not sure if you'll be able to answer this. All right, well, we'll give it the old college try. But in my points league, I'm struggling to understand what's rosterable or not. People like Kamara are big in 9-cap, but said to not be points league rosterable. What's the actual numerical cutoff of somebody top 100, top 150? It's not really that way necessarily, Don. It's a good question. By the way, happy holidays. I see you have a post there. It's not so much the numerical cutoff as it is what kind of player they are. Like, I guess if you're thinking about ranking in points league, my general feeling is you think 10 starting slots and then multiply that by the number of teams in your league. So, 12 teamers, about 120 or better. It's going to be, it's not hard and fast because there's someone like, I don't know, RJ Barrett, who's number 110 in 9 category leagues, who's obviously not 110 in points leagues. You have a guy like a Luke Cornett, who's number 103 in 9-cat, but no way you're playing him when he's the backup to Wemby and he's getting 18 minutes a game. He has his value being floated by all these games when Wemby's been either out or being ramped up. So you kind of have to understand the story behind each guy. But generally, somewhere in that 120 range for 9-cat is the cutoff. Points league, it's a little bit more cut and dry because you either get the points or you're not. I would aim higher than 120. It's a little bit different because of the whole categorical stuff. In 9-cat, you can build guys into your team in a different way. Generally, you're hunting top 100 or better, but you might not be able to find top 100 or better. If you're in a mildly competitive league, it should be pretty hard to find somebody who's, like number 99 just sitting around on a waiver wire. So I hope that helps. I don't know if it does or not. I see a couple of you guys on Twitter just wrote that this is dope and this is sick. Sweet, man. Happy to do it. I'm trying to do one live show a week. We happen to have my older son is in a baseball camp today before it rains. Younger son has a friend over. So there's like a little bit of a window here. Let's go to this one. Dan, you've been pretty committed to Dylan Harper being an active stash. How do you see his minutes developing or situation improving given the Spurs are a team looking to win? So unlikely to rotate. Yeah, I've been talking about this a little bit on some shows. I think he's an active stash, but I also don't think that there's a guarantee that his minutes get higher. I think more of the stash element is that he starts to get just better. Not a guy I have rostered in any roto format at all. And in fact, the only place I have him rostered, I'm strongly considering dropping to turn that into a streaming slot because there's no guarantee that he gets up to 25, 26 minutes a game. The Spurs are winning. I think this is more of the term luxury stash probably feels more accurate in this one in terms of he's active because he's playing, but it's a luxury stash in case someone goes down or Harper gets enough better where he just sort of like moves in front of a few of the other fringe rotation level guys. In terms of guys that I would actually stash for the trade deadline, I'd far prefer to look at a team that's in tank mode. So active stash, but also like By the way, I should mention, and it hasn't happened yet, but for those of you that are going to get your questions in down the line here on this show, the only way to guarantee I can get to them is to super it. I'm not telling you need to. Please don't. But if you're coming into the show partway through and you're like, I want to get my question answered, that's kind of the only way to get it done. Joining as a member also, again, highlights your name in green in the comments. So I'd be able to sort of hunt those questions down and get to those before the other ones. Dan, I traded Ja and Kalkbrenner for RJ Barrett and Joel Embiid. Am I insane? It's a points league. Woof. Yeah, I don't want Joel Embiid. Although Kalkbrenner is not good in points league, so you'll be okay. It's just Embiid is just going to be taking up space. Hi, Dan. I'm first in the league with a 3-point blocks build. I plan to trade Miles Bridges and Devin Vassell, and I need more steals and rebounds. Who should I target? I have no idea, bud. No idea. I'm really sorry. Impossible question for me to do quick on a live show. Sorry. I have to drop when Austin Reeves comes back. Is it Jay Huff, Jakob Pertl, and Miyash Keita? It's probably Keita. sadly. But it could also be Pirtle because he's missing so many damn games. I'm not dropping Jay Huff. Uh-oh. I hear a child crying. I should have known with the live show. This is a little bit of a ballsy play. Should I drop Huff for Reynaud or Peyton Watson? No. Do you think there's more to come from Amen Thompson, or is the reduced defensive stats here to stay with his adjusted position? Yeah, I'm a little worried that the blocks just aren't coming. The steals are pretty good, though. You got scoring, you got boards, you got assists. He's been a lot better lately, hovering in that 30 range, which I think was kind of where I expected him to be this year, but with a lot of build possibilities. Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably here to stay. But with the recent uptick in field goal percent, we've started to see him come around a little bit. So, top 30, 35, something like that is all very doable. Should I pick up Dennis Schroeder and drop Jakob Pertl or Quentin Grimes in a points league? Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't mind. Daniel, I'm stuck on Kalshi. I haven't been following that at all. Anthony Davis to Milwaukee, Chicago, or Miami? I don't know. I'm not convinced that they move him. Chicago is the team that's going to want to be like fringe level. That's their jam there. They're not going to want to go rebuild. That just screams Chicago. Yeah, kids freaking out now. Hey, this feels like a perfectly good early show time to remind you guys to please hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube. That's a big deal. It'll let other people know to come and watch the show as well. So that's an important one. If you are watching on Twitter, please click over to the YouTube link. I tweeted that out right before the show started. So you can go back a minute before the tweet that you're probably watching the show in right now, and you'll see that's when we went live, 1 minute earlier is when I tweeted it out. So please flip on over to the YouTube side. It's actually really important because the more subs we get over there, the more people that see our shows, the more advertising revenue the show can generate. And then I don't even need to ask you guys for memberships anymore. That's the goal in the end of all this. So please check that out. Come on over to the YouTube side. Consider becoming a 99-cent member. It fuels everything I do here. It is, the end goal in all of this, of course, is to do everything for free forever. And the way I've been doing it so far, but we got to make sure that I can get all the nanny stuff covered. So flip on over that way. Come on, watch us on YouTube. Hang out with us over at FanDuel and the FanDuel Sportsbook, and let's keep on chugging along. Oh, there's a subscriber question coming up, but we're going to get to it anyway, so I don't need to jump the line or anything. Kalkbrenner is my worst player, and I'm in 7th out of 12. Would you drop for a streaming spot? Yeah, if you're fighting to get into the playoffs, you move on. You know your situation. If you can hold and you can claw into the 6th seed, then cool. Or you don't. This dude's like, I don't even need you, Dan. It says, people in the chat, should I trade Zion or Paul George? Either or. You're not going to get much for Paul George. So maybe you wait for Zion here to hopefully stay healthy for a couple of games and then move on from that direction. Oh, spoon-fed with a super. You didn't have to do that, man. I got your question anyway. Anyway, thank you. Regardless, that's very kind of you. But you didn't have to do that. Where were we? Here we go. This is from Antonio. He is a member. You see that little marker next to his name? That's the member marker. That's my dude right there. Hey, Dan, 12-team category league. You can only keep 2 out of the following list. Which do you pick? Malik Monk, Yegor Dioman, Jalen Tyson, Isaiah Collier, Jordan Walsh. Tyson is in for me on that boat. Monk is not. Dioman, unfortunately, is probably not, because I don't think he's going to be sustainably good until February. That's still 2 months away, so I'm going to say no on that one. Collier and Walsh is the sort of discussion. Collier has been better lately, but Jordan Walsh has been dealing with an illness. That one's a little bit of a coin flip. I don't know that I'm going to be right with either one that I pick. I've got sort of a 50-50 shot. But I'll say Jalen Tyson, and I'll say Isaiah Collier, because point guard stats are kind of hard to find. Let's see if I'm missing anything else here. Any member questions? There's a member question. Let's do this one and knock it out. What's up, Brandon? Punt blocks team. I have Matherin, Poole, and Vassell. None panned out like I thought. What should I do with them? Brandon, how did you end up with those dudes? I faded all three of those guys. Brandon. Vassell was a sell high. If that wasn't able to materialize, then you see if he trends down far enough to become a streaming spot. Matherin, you have to hold through it. Poole, you're hoping for a sell high moment. You might just be kind of stuck. There's a good question in there that I saw that I want to make sure I get back to. Got to rest my voice every few minutes here. All right. So let's see. How are we doing here? How are we doing on time? 15, 16 minutes in? That's not bad. Quiet morning. Everybody's getting ready for old Xmas. This is probably the time for me to tweet out the link again. Let's do that. Might keep this one a little shorter today. Probably should have done a recorded show, but like, I don't know, Christmas week. You're stuck, Brandon. Sorry, bud. Would you trade Andres? Would you trade Scotty for Scotty Barnes? He's been struggling lately. That's a good question. He's down to number 17. And I have to admit, I never really thought the first round stuff was going to stick. He is number 29 over the last month. He is number 60 over the last 3 weeks, which is like kind of a sample size of enough. He's number 106 over his last 5 ball games. The assists are down. Field goal percent is down. Free throw has been atrocious. Turnovers are very high. I mean, the Raptors' offense is a bit of a joke right now. I think what we're seeing is now kind of the leveling that all needed to happen to begin with, which is he was playing way over his head at the start of the season, and now he's come back down to earth, and he's going to level off probably somewhere in the 30 range, which is sort of where I said I wanted to draft him anyway. And I have to admit, for like a month there, I was like, oh my God, I was way low on this dude. And now I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. We're like kind of right. So if you can get him for a 30 range guy, I would do it. Otherwise, I think it's kind of like doesn't really matter all that much. But if he fits your build better, then you can go a little bit more expensive. It's a good question on Scotty Barnes. Would you have Kalkbrenner as a streaming spot if nobody wants to trade for him? Yeah, that's fine. 10-team, 9-cat roto. Asar, Thompson, John Collins, or Cam Spencer. 3s, assists, blocks needed. Well, Cam Spencer's getting you 3s and assists by the bowlful. Asar will get you probably the most blocks of the 3. John Collins might not get you any of those 3. Maybe he'll get you 1 block here with Zubats out. But, of course, the guy in this mix that actually has full season value is Asar Thompson. I don't know that the other guys last through their teams actually getting healthy. So if you're thinking you just need like a burst right now, and it's roto, so maybe I'll go Cam Spencer. Just go Cam Spencer for now. But, of course, if you drop Asar Thompson, he's going to get picked up by somebody. If you're just looking at who's on the waiver wire and Asar is just hanging out there right now, then go Cam Spencer, because presumably this means that nobody was picking up Asar Thompson anyway. Who should I drop? Oh, I think this one actually came through from Twitter. I didn't know that happened. I still want you guys to flip over and watch on YouTube, though. However many hundreds of you that are watching on Twitter, please flip over, find the YouTube link that I've been tweeting out, and please watch over there. It really does matter a lot to me and helps Old Man Squad so much more because Twitter gives us nothing. Twitter is exclusively to like, oh, let's find a new eyeball. And then we use Twitter to try to get you to a place where you're not going to pay anything, but at least you're going to see an advertisement and like see the other pods we put out. Anyway, who am I dropping? Reed Shepard, Jay Huff, or John Collins? It's John Collins. What's your take on Isaiah Hartenstein? Seems to have taken a big drop since last year. Buy low or just avoid. Has he, though? The injury stuff is the thing that I'm annoyed with. But he's number 66. 12 and 11 with a steal, a block on 66% shooting. That's funny. His field goal percent's the same as his rank. He hasn't taken a drop year over year. This is like, look what he did last season. I think his rank was almost the same. He was 11 and 11 last year. Literally almost the exact same stats year over year. So, no, this is who he is, and we just hope that he's healthier the rest of the way. Is Asar or Ryan Rollins a drop for Filipowski or Ace Bailey? No. How do you dictate buy lows and sell highs? Okay, so I go a little deeper on this than most, I think. There are certain things that I don't go as deep on as other analysts. I think other analysts are way better at dealing with young players than I am. We are the old man squad, after all. But I do think one of the things that I do a really good job of is on the buy low, sell high stuff. I try to be as pragmatic as I can in terms of these are guys that I think you actually can pull it off. Because sometimes you'll see buy low, sell high stuff, and people just look at like what a player did over the last week. But like, for instance, as a point of reference, Peyton Watson had one good game after coming back from injury. If you see someone that's like, oh, sell high, that's nonsense. Like, that's not a thing that can happen. Or look for somebody who's just ranked in the top 30 or 40 that is totally out of the blue. Like Cam Johnson is top 40 over the last week. You're not going to be able to sell high, so I'm not going to put him on that list. I'm looking for guys where I can see the public perception has shifted in a direction where I disagree. One of the really good examples is like 4 weeks ago, everybody said LeBron James was washed because he wasn't finishing at the rim. He looked terrible. And I was like, no, this is your buy low window because I'm watching these games. I can see this is a guy who's just not tuned up for NBA games yet. Like, get in on it. And Jay Huff, we put on the sell high board. Listen, I love Jay Huff, and I have him in as many places as I could get him. But also, like, we have to see, is he going to block shots at a Wemby rate the entire year? 3 blocks in 24 minutes a game? No. That's Wemby level. There's one man in the NBA who can do that, and he's like 2 players grafted on top of one another with extendo grabber arms. Jay Huff's been amazing, but that rate wasn't going to stick. So you're looking for situations where the public perception has shifted in a particular direction, and you feel like you can gather some small amount of profit. You know, when we were saying sell high on Jay Huff, and he was rolling at a top 25 clip, I wasn't saying go aim for top 25 because you're not going to get that back. Because it has to do with how long a player also is either playing really well or really poorly. If Jay Huff continued that same insane block rate for another 3 weeks, then I'd say, okay, you aim a little higher. You aim for top 40, top 50. But you say, oh, well, when it's a couple of weeks, you say aim for top 75. Just try to squeeze out a little bit of value. And on the buy low side, someone like a Darius Garland was a name we had on the board for a couple of weeks there. As he was working his way back, people were afraid of lingering injury concerns. People didn't like the fact that he was shooting the ball very poorly. It was an ugly, ugly start. But that's one of those spots where you're like, okay, people were drafting this dude near 60. We've seen him be a top 50, 60 guy for years, really, other than the one injured year, which, you're sort of hoping wasn't going to turn into another one this time around. You say, okay, well, what can I squeeze out of him? This guy's ranked like 220th. Not anymore. This was a few weeks ago. And I was like, okay, if we still think he's going to get into that 60 range when he's healthy, could we get him for like a top 90 guy? Maybe. I think that was doable. Don't offer up like a top 130 or a top 200 guy. That's not going to happen. You don't offer what the guy is. You offer something in between what they are and what you think they're going to be in the end. That was a longer answer to a short question. Love you guys for dealing with my lack of brevity. Is it fine if I have no streaming spot on my team? Hell yeah, it's fine. That means you're dominating. Jalen Tyson was dropped. Should I use a waiver 2 priority and drop Collier, Herb, or Harper despite his poor showing last night? Yeah, I would drop Dylan Harper for Jalen Tyson. Picked up BP for Pirtle a couple days ago. I think the Pirtle back use is going to limit him for most of the season going forward. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the Pirtle injury stuff. This feels like it's going to be one of those stupid years. Who's BP? I need you guys to type names. Also, what's the update on that trade offer you got? Did you go through with it? I know it was a difficult choice to make. Oh, someone in one of my Yahoo Public Leagues offered me Cade Cunningham for Derek White and Michael Porter Jr., which, by the way, over the last month is not a good trade to make. Cade is 13th in 9-cat. White was 17th in 9-cat over that stretch. So you didn't need Michael Porter to bridge the gap. But I did the trade because with Cade, a lot of it is the turnover thing. This is a roto league, so turnovers do matter. But at the end of the year, teams are going to give up, and I'm going to fall behind some teams anyway in that category. So I kind of have to budget that in. And also, this is Cade. Like, if you aren't as worried, if you think turnovers are like 60% of a full point, even though they're a full point right now, you certainly go with the guy that's a first rounder outside of it. So yes, I took Cade in that one. And now I'm actually hoping Michael Porter Jr. shuts her down, because then I'll feel really smart about that one. Dan, you helped me win last year. Thanks. You're welcome. That's why I'm trying to do this. Also to grow it. Yo, Joe, though. Who should I consider dropping to open up a streaming spot? Nurk or Kalkbrenner? Nurk! Dude doesn't play back-to-backs. He doesn't need to be rostered. Should I be trying to trade Brandon Miller or ride it out? Ride it out, baby. I had him as a buy low a couple weeks ago. Now it's time to enjoy it a little bit. What do you think is going on with Jakob? Is he cooked? I mean, cooked is probably not a fair term. I just think he's probably a little bit, I think he's probably just a little bit beat up. This may be one of those years. I picked up Sandro because Jakob's been looking bad, but Sandro doesn't seem like the best pickup either. Yeah, I mean, Mamu's probably going to be like a top 100, top 90 guy filling in for Jakob. It's not going to be an exciting thing, but he'll be worthwhile. I picked him up in a few spots with Pirtle again leaving early. Shining Knight says, I can't see my comment. Yeah, I don't think whatever you typed came up, so it must have glitched out the first time around. I'm playing in a 4-punt big man build, so this is the Kingy build. I have 6 players out. I guess it's time to sack the next couple of weeks. Should I punt, free throw, points, assists, threes? Yeah, I mean, okay, so therein lies the rub. If you're in a punt 4 and you lose a bunch of guys, you're really going to get spanked, because you can't even really go for the I'm going to win turnovers in both percentages and lose 6-3. You can win field goal and turnovers, and you're just screwed. You're going to lose 7-2. Maybe you can squeak out a blocks win. Hi, Dan. I traded Khalil Ware for Aaron Gordon. Am I cooked? Yeah, you're a little cooked. Sorry, Wukong. Hey, YouTubers, thanks for doing your thing. Please hit that like button to those of you that started watching over the last 10 minutes or so. Twitter's come on over. Watch on YouTube. We're going to see how far we can go with this thing. And again, if anybody out there wants to make sure they get their question answered, please consider signing up for a membership, because I can see the green questions. And I'm not going to do a full hour on today's show, 35, 40 minutes max, I think. And there are a billion questions here that we're not going to get to. So I do see a few member questions. So we'll get to those before we end. If they're the last few, then we'll do it as the last few. Do you hate Sleeper as much as Josh? Josh hates Sleeper. I don't play on it, so I'm agnostic. If he says it sucks, he's probably right, though. I don't play on it. What do you think Isaiah Collier's rest of season value is at, especially in a punt bigs stats build? Yeah, punt bigs. He's a must roster guy. Straight 9 cat, he's a speculative ad for me. But if you don't need boards or field goal percent or blocks, then yeah. Do you think Con Kneppels must roster the rest of the season, or are Josh Green, Sexton going to affect his production? No, he's must roster. They love him. Yeah, absolutely must roster. Would you trade Jaren Jackson for Gobert in a points league? No. I traded Miles Turner to get Jeremy Grant. What do you think? I actually would have gone the other way on that one. I think Miles Turner is an intense buy low right now, and I think Jeremy Grant is a pretty big sell high. You're already seeing this stuff starting to crop up. The Achilles now hurts. It's just a matter of time. Jeremy Grant is like the definition. Someone said ticking time bomb a few minutes about someone else. Jeremy Grant is the definition of a ticking time bomb. What's this? Did I see a rumor? Nope, nothing interesting. Just checking the wire, making sure I'm not missing anything in the middle of the show. Is Gafford a hold if you have Anthony Davis? Nah. Thoughts on John Collins while Zubats is injured? I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be a top 75 guy. I think Brook Lopez could also be a top 75 guy. And I said on my non-live show, if you need more of the well-rounded stuff, you if you need the well-rounded stuff, you go Collins. If you need blocks and threes, you go Brolo. Chunchilla. Dan, we love you. Hey, that's cool. Love you guys. Did they ever put a monument in the Palisades community where you guys / your son went to school? That's interesting. No, they're rebuilding. I don't know if you saw this a few weeks ago. I was tweeting out a petition to try to speed up the process. They are rebuilding. I'm sure that there will be some sort of monument done for the entire community, but that's very kind of you to ask. Also, threw in a fantasy question there. You're always going to get my attention when you show the personal side, love. Would you trade Chet for Flag? Ooh, that's a spicy little meatball, isn't it? What's Cooper at over the last little bit? I know he's been ramping up pretty hard. Cooper Flag last 3 weeks, number 49. Man, that's sure bet for not sure bet. No, I'm going to stay with Chet. It's too spicy for me. Would you trade Larry Markkinen plus Norman Powell for LeBron and Cooper Flag? Ooh, yeah, I think I would do the second one because Markkinen is all ready to shut down nonsense. So in my mind, you say I'm turning Markkinen into Cooper Flag and I'm turning Norman Powell into LeBron James. I'm good with that one. One more question from Antonio. He's a member, so what do we got here? Do you think Middleton has any rest of season value? Nope. Savagely, you are also a member, and you just typed, let's go. Yeah, let's go, bud. So this question was posted 16 minutes ago, and that's just what I'm getting to now. I warned you guys, we ain't getting to everything. I'm not going an hour today. Sammy says, I sent a bunch of questions in the YouTube chat, Dan. Which ones were yours? I hope they came through. That's what I'm scrolling through here. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. Again, if you want to make sure I see stuff, and again, you don't have to do this, but if you have like an absolutely burning question, you can do a super. But I would prefer you guys just do the 99-cent membership if you're going to do anything at all on the big time financial side. Who do you prefer rest of season? Andre Drummond, Ryan Kalkbrenner, or Isaiah Stewart? Kalkbrenner. Hi, Dan. How are your fantasy teams doing? Would you consider doing a redraft show? Probably not going to do a redraft show. Nobody watches those for whatever reason. It's very sort of niche-y. Maybe over the All-Star break when there's nothing going on. Fantasy teams are doing great, actually. This has been an outstanding year. I'm in 6 Roto leagues. I'm just looking at the Yahoo Cash leagues right now, and I have a couple of other leagues elsewhere that I forget about week to week because I can only track so many things. 6 Roto leagues, and if you adjust for games played, I should be finishing top 3 in all of them. 3 of them, I should definitely finish first. And then 3 of them, I don't know where it's going to land. Probably not first in all of them. My guess would be like a second and 2/3, which is, you can't ask for much more than that. Head-to-head leagues, we'll see. Like, I'm in the playoffs in both of them. I think I'm like 3rd and 4th place, but coming off of the weird NBA Cup weeks where my team got destroyed in one week and like hung in there in the other because of games played issues. I think my head-to-head teams are pretty good, but it's really hard to know until you get to the playoffs and see who's healthy. But things are going great this year. Outside of John Collins, who was an absolute dumpster fire of a pick, who's suddenly good now, but I long since dropped him. Like the early draft stuff, nailed all of it. That's what's been really cool about this year. We didn't get all of the like 75 to 100 range guys right. So yeah, I have some like 7th and 8th rounders that didn't work as great, but like 1 through 6 dunked. And then after 9th through 13th round dunked. 7th, 8th. I don't know why I screwed those up. Even during drafts, I was like, I really don't like this part of the draft. I'm going to do something bad in here. And I was right. Screwed the pooch on 75 through 100. Go figure. Blind spot. Hi, Dan. Is Yusuf Nurkic meant to be in the all formats bucket in your in-season board? I don't think he is. Isn't he in a streamer bucket? I'll check that while we're on air. By the way, if you guys don't know what we're talking about here, this is Osiria Bloom talking about my buckets board. I have an in-season rank board I did this year. It's the first time I've ever done that in season, and I'm trying to update it daily. It's going to get harder as we go on, but I'm pretty sure. Let me do a quick search. I had to pull up the tab first. No, he's in the low or medium volume stream section, or did I have him twice? Oh, I do have him twice. I'm sorry, bud. You're right. He shouldn't be in the all formats. Thanks, dude. Good catch. No, he should be a streamer. Appreciate you. Good looking out. Oscar Baldwin, would you trade Kawhi for Zubats? No. Would you give up Giannis for Derek Queen, Trey, and Desmond Bane? Whoa. No, especially not in a 10-teamer. You need top guy. Is Dylan Brooks worth holding? Yeah, we're getting like some more vintage Dylan Brooks lately, which is jacking up shots like it's going out of style. And the steals have gone away. Where have all his thievings gone? He's averaging 20 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, and 2.5 threes over the last 3 weeks. And somehow he's outside the top 250 because he's at basically 0 defensive stats, 43.5% high volume from the field. I'm going to hold him because honestly, how many guys out there can you find that are taking 17 shots a game? The steals will come back up a little. There's going to be this sort of ebb and flow. And you're not going to find 20 plus points on the wire. So you should be able to trade him at least when he starts getting going a little bit. Getting to the end of the road here, guys. We're not going to do that many more. Jet Song, have you posted a question here before? If not, I'm thinking of moving my Vassell, Keontae George, or Kevin Porter Jr., my main guys, or whatever. Who should I target? Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you this, though. You'll have more success moving. I think all of those guys are a little bit of a sell high. Maybe not Keontae George, because he's like the one guy that seems to be immune to the rest so far. Kevin Porter Jr., in my opinion, is a sell high with Giannis still out. Devin Vassell is a sell high because Wemby's still getting ramped up. You'll probably have more success moving Kevin Porter and aiming for like a top 40 guy. Vassell, I would aim for top 100. Keontae, I would aim for whatever his rank is right now, but I don't think you could necessarily need to trade him. Here's a question that hopefully applies to more than just me, says Chinchilla. Start, bench, cut. Miles Turner, Reed Shepard, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Start, Reed, bench, Miles, probably end up cutting. No. Who's better long-term in a points league, Darius Garland or Desmond Bane? I'm a little worried about Garland sitting some back-to-back, so I would say Bane just for the extra games played. That's probably where he gets the leg up. Mid-show reminder, Twitter, guys, those of you that are watching on Twitter, please bounce on over to the YouTube side. Please, please, please. It's important to me. If you like me, please do it. Got to get you guys over to YouTube. YouTubers, hit the subscribe button. So this is a 2-step process. Twitter users, go over to YouTube. YouTube users, hit the like button and the subscribe button. Those of you that are listening after the fact, you're like, Dan, please stop talking about this crap. Dear God, please stop talking about this crap. Please sign up for a membership too. 99 cents. This question just says pods. Pods. Tide Pods. Quentin Grimes still worthy? No. You can move on from Grimes. Hi, bro. My kid calls me bro. My 9-year-old's been calling me bro for 2 years. I don't know we picked it up. I've never called anyone bro in my life. My kid calls me bro all the time. I call him dude. A little surprised he didn't pick up on that. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s. I call you dude. Anyway, should I drop Draymond Green for Moussa Diabate? Draymond Green is a punt points option only in my eyes. Should I hold Duncan and Thompson for 14-teamers? Yeah. Peanut Fingers says it's too hard to carry Kamara. Yeah, he's been annoying so far. I do still think that I think the steals and the field goal percent get up to a point where he just coasts into the top 100, but it hasn't happened yet, and we're 9 damn weeks in. I hope that this isn't just the year where his steals and his field goal percent get 30% worse or whatever. Yo, Dan the Man, would you drop Kalkbrenner for Brooke Lopez? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Should I add Tari Eason, Kelly Oubre, or Peyton Watson? Ooh. Tari Eason is going to miss back-to-backs, but I think they only have one over the next month. So I'll go Tari Eason. Bub or Collier? Collier. I still don't trust Bub. Bub. I'm trying to catch up on the questions, by the way. I feel like we can almost get to the end of the list. If I go fast enough, and I'm trying to be done in 4 minutes here. Would you drop Kalkbrenner for Eason or Peyton Watson? Yeah. I would, actually. I would drop him for Tari Eason. Dem Birds, what's up, bud? Haven't heard from you in a little bit. You actually might be posting in the shows. I'm sorry. I haven't been able to get to the comments this year. Just too much stuff, man. Different nanny doesn't work as many hours. Kids have younger ones in baseball now. Like, I had like 2 afternoons a week all of a sudden. Anyway, hope you've been well. The drop question. Filipowski, Walsh, or Kamara? I'm dropping Filipowski. I can't deal with the fact that 1 out of every 2 to 3 games, he just does nothing. At least these other guys are doing stuff. I mean, I know Walsh is sick right now, but you know what I mean. Should I trade Asar and Maxey for Wemby? Hell yeah. Go get Wemby, man. Wemby, Jokic, Shea, those 3 guys are worth almost any price in fantasy basketball. Which I know is crazy because Maxey is actually technically ahead of Wemby right now in ranking. But I still call into question the fact that Maxey can play 40 minutes a game the entire year and average 2.6 combined defensive stats. The other stuff is around where you'd expect. Maxey's having an all-world season. But Asar Thompson is kind of like fringe droppable. So, like, in my mind, you're saying, should I trade Maxey for Wemby? And I think I'm going to go with yes, because Wemby's stats right now are depressed by this ramp up from injury. And I'd rather have Wemby. It's crazy that it's close at all, though. With Pelicans' winning streak, is stashing DeJounte Murray a good move? No. Am I crazy for holding both Sarr and Keyshawn George? You're not crazy. They both deserve to be rostered. It just sucks to have Wizards. A Sarr or Pirtle in a 10-teamer? Neither in a 10-teamer, but probably a Sarr. Pirtle's injury stuff is rough. Do I trade away Keyshawn George for Jakob Pirtle? No. I traded Curry and OG for Shea. Was it a good move? Yeah. Shea is worth almost anything. He's a team carrier in fantasy basketball. It's very hard to lose. That's not true. It's very hard to be bad if you have Jokic, Shea, Wemby, or Maxey, interestingly, this year. And you could put Luka probably in that discussion on the head-to-head side if he could stay healthy. I just can't believe that I have a team where I have, like, Jalen Johnson along with these other Jalen Johnson and Jamal Murray. If you got like Shea, Jalen Johnson, and Jamal Murray, or Luka, Jalen Johnson, and Jamal Murray, your first 3 picks are all first rounders. Or Austin Reeves is number 13. I told you we nailed the early ones. Late ones, pretty good. Mid-late, not good. Is Jaden McDaniels a hold? Yeah. Isn't he? He's number 75. I don't like oblique injuries, but they're calling it a contusion, which feels like that's better than like a strain. I don't know. But yes. Blob Deep says, any inside info on Reeves or Luka status this week? No inside info, but the outside info that came out yesterday is that Reeves is considered day-to-day, so he could be back at any point this week. Luka, I don't think plays. When do the Lakers go? They're on Christmas, right? Lakers are today and Christmas Day. Am I getting that right? Where are we at? Let's double check ourselves. Yeah, they got Phoenix again? Is that possible? Did I mess that up? Did they switch the Lakers opponent because they played them last week? Nope, still Phoenix. They're going to lose that game, aren't they? I don't think Reeves plays tonight, but I think there's a decent chance he plays on Christmas. LeBron loves playing on Christmas. It's a big, fun showcase game. How many of those is he going to have left? So he's into it. Rockets. You know. Oh, this is like the all-rage showdown games for LeBron. The dudes he hates and then the dudes he loves but respects and wants to beat back-to-back. I I don't think Luka plays until at least Sunday, maybe later. I think we see Reeves on Christmas, but I don't know. Sounds like DeAndre Ayton is back. That'll be helpful for them because Jackson Hayes is not very good. What the hell was I talking about? Hour 45 minutes. I wanted to be done. No, a bunch of questions came in. I almost caught up. It's not going to happen, guys. All right, I'm letting you know right now. I'm doing this one. I see 2 questions from members. And then I'll try to squeeze in 1 or 2 more. But if you want your question answered here at the very end of the show, now you legitimately have to like be a super or sign up for a member. I'm just not going to see it. Drew Holiday or Tari Eason? I mean, it's Drew, but I don't know when the hell he's going to come back. Eason's playing now. Hey, Dan, you should do a rest of season rankings prediction at the All-Star break. Woo! You guys don't want me to get a break, huh? All right, Andy. I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see. I'm just going to scan these questions for one that I want. Any news on DeJounte Murray? I was assuming February or March. If he shows up by January, great. But I don't recommend a stash. There's a DeJounte Murray question. Let's see. You don't think Asar gets better the rest of the season? Here's the thing. Everything about Asar Thompson is exactly what we expected, except his free throw number has been truly horrible. Like everything else is basically what we thought it was going to be. I mean, there might have been the expectation of a little bit more blockage, but not really. When you look at last year, like the defensive stats rate is only down a tiny bit, which usually does happen when guys play more. Big difference. He's taking an extra free throw and he's 10% worse. That's the big jump. Like last year, final month of the season, he played 25 minutes a game. His blocks were a little bit better, but he shot 74% at the foul line. He wasn't a punt free throw guy at that point. So I don't know. Like guys have weird free throw shooting years every once in a while, and I'm a little worried that that's just what's happening. Jalen Green rest of season ranking prediction, Dan? Question mark. Yeah, I think he's probably like a top 80, top 90 9-cat guy. I think he probably goes more like top 60, 50 punt field goal. So great punt field goal option. Meh. Standard 9-cat option. But either way, rosterable and playable. I think that might be all the ones I want to get to today. We're over 45 minutes. I appreciate the fact that all of you guys are sticking it out and like more people keep finding the show every couple of minutes, but we're going to have to pull the plug. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please consider a 99-cent membership. I can see many of you that are asking questions are not. It's a really big deal. It's 99 cents. I don't think you guys are going to miss it. That's why I set it as a number that was so insanely low. But if you can't do 99, please hit the like button. Please, Twitter users, go on over to YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe over there. That's the main goal with doing a live show instead of a recorded one, is that I can really like get right in your face and go, I know you're watching right now. I can literally see it on my screen that there are many of you watching me yell at you in real time. And I'm going to yell at you to please go over to the YouTube side, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow on Twitter if you don't already at Dan Vespers, although I think most of you do. So forget that one. Thanks to FanDuel and the Believe Network. And here's one for the road. Zach Edey's a free agent. Should I pick him up? Yes. But I actually don't know. He might be back in 3 weeks. He might be back in 8. We really don't know. I hope he's back. But stress reactions are, yeah, I did the 6-7. All right. I'm done. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you on social when I can get over there. Again, things are weird right now. It's winter break. So do what we can. Try to record late at night again, but it's a 14 gamer, so woof! Good luck tonight. Make sure you got all 10 roster spots full.